Day 12. This is the last broadcast from what remains of our safe zone. I'm coming to you live from the east perimeter of Grid 5B, where silence is no longer an option. Listen carefully, because the quiet here is a lie. Every rustle, every shift in the darkness might be the harbinger of doom. They've broken through the eastern barricade. I can hear it in the way the metal bends, not by human hands. No, something else. I repeat, the eastern barricade has been compromised. I'm witnessing metal groaning under unseen weight. There's a sound, like footsteps that don't belong to any living soul. They're coming closer, closer than before. Every second here counts. I can't shake the feeling that behind this static and these fading signals are voices that once meant hope, now twisted into something unrecognizable. The wind, it carries the screams of those who lost the battle. And through it all, I hear the sound of the dead, the relentless, crawling approach of something that feasts on our very fear. Now, I'm positioned here at the edge of Grid 5B. The darkness is swallowing the light, or maybe it's the other way around. I can see, in the distance, silhouettes moving with an unnatural rhythm. It's as if the night itself has awakened, hungry for those who dare to survive. I must warn you, if you're out there listening, do not venture near the outer limits of your safe zone. The silence you trust so dearly is a trap. Over here, the sound of life has been replaced by the macabre symphony of despair metal groans, the scrape of unnatural claws and distant, unearthly growls that speak of something inhuman. Remember, we are all that stands between the light of our past and the dark unknown. In these moments, every noise is a story, every pause a prelude to chaos. I've been recording these sounds, these fleeting moments, to remind us that hope is fragile, but still we cling to it even as the dead try to tear it away. As I sit here, the wind whispers of memories of life before the outbreak, before the silent invasion. I recall the sound of laughter, the simple joy of everyday conversation. Now, those memories are drowned out by the relentless cacophony of survival. Every gust of wind seems to carry a fragment of those voices, lost souls that wander the night, searching for a semblance of normalcy. But here, normalcy has become a myth. I can almost feel the weight of every echo, every fading note of a once cherished song, and in its place there's a chorus of despair, a dirge for the fallen. The subtle tap, tap, tap of what might be footsteps, the rustle of leaves that shouldn't be moving. They remind me that time has lost all meaning here. In these moments, you understand that every sound, every pause is a heartbeat in this dying world. And each heartbeat is a reminder of what we've lost, and what might still be out there waiting, watching. I'm not sure how much longer we can hold on to the semblance of order that remains in this shattered world. The thumping sound, it's as if the very ground is echoing the march of an unstoppable force. I've heard it before, the relentless cadence of death marching ever closer. It starts as a murmur, barely noticeable beneath the hum of static, and then builds into something monstrous. Here in Grid 5B, the air vibrates with uncertainty. I can almost predict the next sound, the scraping of metal, the sudden burst of a distant scream. And with every passing moment, that prediction feels more real, more inevitable. I want to believe that there is a plan, that somewhere in the chaos lies a method to this madness. But as I listen, I'm overwhelmed by the raw, unfiltered terror that binds us all. So to you, my fellow survivors, I offer this plea: stay vigilant. Let every unexpected noise be a signal not of hope, but of caution. Our enemy is patient and relentless. In every crackle of static, in every echo of the past, there's a warning. If you find yourself alone in the dark, let this voice guide you. Remember, the unknown is not merely a space between moments. It is alive, it is watching, and it is coming for you. The sound, it's no longer just a background murmur. I can hear it now, the unmistakable growl of the horde as they press closer. Each roar, each scrape against metal, feels like a countdown. I've taken refuge behind a makeshift barricade, and I can tell you it isn't holding as it once did. I can hear the groan of iron bending, the creak of splintering wood, and then there's that eerie cadence, a rhythmic pounding, as if nature itself were warning us. I swear, I can almost see the shadows moving in the periphery of my vision, dancing in time with those sounds. Every moment feels like a lifetime. With each passing second, I wonder if I'll have the strength to broadcast another word. But I have to believe that somewhere out there, someone is listening. I repeat, do not trust the silence. For silence in this world is a prelude to the storm, a lull before the relentless assault of the dead. Take heed. If you're in a position to defend your home, fortify it. If you're alone, stay hidden. The horde is coming for us, and it's coming with a force that defies understanding. Mark these words, for in every echo and every roar lies a final. Unspoken truth, our world as we knew it is dead, and what remains is a battle for every breath we take. Even in this chaos, there's a moment. A fleeting, bittersweet moment of clarity. I remember a time before all this, when the sound of life was measured in laughter and music, not in the groans of the damned. Now, all that remains are these echoes of the past, a reminder of everything we once held dear. I close my eyes and I can almost hear the laughter of children, the gentle strum of an old guitar, and the comforting hum of everyday life. But here, in the midst of terror, that past feels like a dream, one that fades with every groan and every scrape of metal. And yet, for a brief second, it offers solace. A reminder that even in our darkest hours, there is something worth remembering. I don't know if tomorrow will ever come. I don't know if this barricade will hold. All I have is this voice and these sounds, a chronicle of our final stand. So listen to every heartbeat, every whisper of memory. For in them lies the strength to endure, even as the night closes in around us. The calm is over. I can feel it deep in my bones, a premonition that what we fear is no longer a distant rumor, but an imminent reality. I'm sitting here, clinging to every breath as I record these final moments of calm before the storm breaks over us once more. Every sound, every beat, tells me that the horde is closer than ever. I can't ignore the rhythmic pounding, the echo of footsteps that signal the approach of something vast and unyielding. My hands shake as I grip the microphone, as if the act of speaking might somehow hold back the darkness. But I know deep down that words alone cannot stop what is coming. To you out there, if you're listening, let this be a warning. Guard your home, hide if you must, and never ever assume that the silence is safe. This is not the end, but merely another chapter in our fight for survival. And though I am terrified, I will continue to speak, to chronicle the unraveling of a world that once was bright and full of hope. Stay tuned, hold on, and remember that even in the darkest moments, our voice is a beacon. I promise you, if I make it through this night, that I will return with the next update. Until then, pray for us all. To survive, we have to be connected. Subscribe to stay informed. Listeners, this is your voice in the void, broadcasting from what remains of Grid 5B. I am still here, though everything around me seems to crumble with every passing second. It's been barely 5 minutes since that final warning, and already the world outside is changing. I can hear the distant wail of sirens, an eerie lament that echoes through the ruined streets. They sound almost mournful tonight, like the last cries of a dying world. The barricade that once held back the horde has finally given way to the relentless assault of decay and despair. Just moments ago, I heard the shattering of reinforced glass and the crash of metal as something, or someone, forced its way into what used to be our sanctuary. I'm not sure if it's the dead or something worse, but every sound now is a grim reminder that safety is but a fading memory. I have tried to steady my hands on this microphone, but every tremor speaks volumes. The chaos isn't just out there, it's inside me too. In between the crackles of the static, I can almost decipher the whispers of those lost to the night. Their voices fragmented and pleading, weave a tapestry of desperation that I fear might soon overwhelm me. Listen closely, for the tale I'm about to share isn't merely about the collapse of a barricade. It's about the shifting of the very front lines of our struggle. Out there, beyond the confines of this crumbling safe zone, the rules of engagement have changed. I hear footsteps, heavy, methodical, and a low, guttural hum that doesn't belong to any human. It's as if the earth itself is vibrating with the steps of an army that marches without mercy. And in the midst of that cadence, I caught the sound of an unidentifiable shout, a cry of both terror and defiance. It's in these moments, when the world is stripped down to its raw sounds, that you truly understand the gravity of our situation. Every metallic echo, every distant cry, tells a story of lives upturned and hopes shattered. And yet here I am, recording this broadcast in the hope that somewhere, someone will heed this warning. There's a strange phenomenon that's taken hold of these ruins. A chorus of voices, like echoes from a time before the night took everything from us. I'm not entirely sure if these are the whispers of survivors, or if they're the disembodied echoes of those who no longer walk among us. At this moment, As I stand amidst the remnants of a once orderly world, I can almost make out snippets of conversations. A child's laughter rings faintly, quickly drowned out by the murmurs of a desperate crowd. There's a woman's voice trembling with sorrow, saying something about not forgetting who we once were. And then a man, a gruff, broken voice, shouting a warning that I can barely catch through the static. They are coming, always coming. I don't know how many survivors are out there listening to this broadcast, but each voice, each memory, carries the weight of a lost world. These overlapping sounds, these half-heard cries for help, remind me that even in darkness, there remains a spark of life. But as I try to grasp these fleeting moments, the hum in the background grows louder. It's as if the very air is charged with anticipation. I can feel it in my bones, the unmistakable vibration of approaching danger. The voices become distorted, merging with the ambient hum until it's difficult to distinguish where human desperation ends and something otherworldly begins. Every whispered word, every fragmented sentence tells me that the horror is not a single force but a multitude. A tapestry of voices that rise and fall with the cadence of our collective fear. And now, I sense that these voices are not just echoes of the past. They are warnings, urgent signals in the midst of chaos. They speak of hidden dangers lurking behind shattered walls, of unspeakable secrets buried in the ruins of our civilization. And with each moment, the distance between hope and despair narrows until all that remains is the raw, unyielding reality of survival. Attention. This is not a drill. I'm receiving an abrupt surge in the static, almost as if something massive has collided with the very air around me. Did you hear that? A sound, a deafening crash that shook the foundation of this station? For a moment, I lost my footing, and in that split second, the ambient hum was replaced by a cacophony of chaos. It's as if the universe itself had sneezed. And what emerged was not just debris, but a harbinger of the apocalypse. I'm trying to reestablish my signal here, but every time I speak, the echoes of that impact ricochet back at me. I can hear the rapid footsteps, closer, scrambling across shattered concrete. It reminds me that in this world, time doesn't slow down for anyone. I need you to listen carefully. Whatever that disturbance was, it wasn't natural. It was deliberate, a violent punctuation in the ongoing sentence of our survival story. I can almost see the dark silhouettes moving in the periphery of my vision, driven by a purpose I cannot fathom. They move with a precision that belies the randomness of this chaos. There's a heaviness in the air now, a tension that wraps around me like a vice. And through it all, I can't help but wonder, are these the very sounds of our doom? The crash, the rapid steps, the sudden burst of raw energy. It's as if the horde itself is reorganizing, gathering strength for what comes next. Stay with me, listeners. I'm doing my best to maintain this broadcast, to document every moment of this unfolding horror. The voices I heard earlier, the ambient hum, they now mingle with this new, disruptive force, one that feels both calculated and terrifying. I must confess I've never experienced anything quite like this. Every instinct tells me that we're entering a new phase of this nightmare. A phase where the boundaries between the natural and the unnatural blur into a single, relentless force of terror. If you're out there, wherever you are, I urge you to brace yourselves. The chaos is intensifying, and the sounds I'm capturing are not just noise. They're the pulse of a dying world. Listeners, I'm witnessing something that defies explanation. In the midst of the chaos, there is an emerging pattern, a rhythm to the madness. The low-frequency rumble under my feet isn't just the tremors of collapsing structures. It's the heartbeat of a force that's gathering strength. And as I speak, the rapid drums of my pulse sync with that ominous cadence. I can make out snippets of what seem to be ritualistic chants, words lost in translation, yet heavy with foreboding meaning. They echo across the ruins, resonating with an ancient, primal power that chills me to the core. I don't know if it's the desperate prayer of a dying world or the call to arms of something far more sinister. But the message is clear. The confrontation is no longer a question of if, but when. I'm seeing figures move, shadowy, almost spectral in nature, circling slowly as if preparing for a coordinated strike. Their movements are deliberate, measured. It's as though they know exactly what they intend to do, and they are unified in their purpose. I've often wondered if in the midst of all this destruction, there is an order, a dark, twisted order, to the chaos. Right now, that order seems to be manifesting in front of my eyes. Every echo, every heartbeat, every chant reinforces one undeniable truth. The dead are not merely roaming, they are orchestrating. They are orchestrating a symphony of destruction, and we are caught in the middle of it. I reach out through this broadcast not just as a reporter of events, but as a witness to a transformation. The world is shifting, and I fear that the old rules no longer apply. In this new era of darkness, survival is not simply about hiding. It's about understanding that every sound, every gesture is part of a larger, terrifying design. Look beyond the chaos for a moment. In these fleeting seconds, when the sound of destruction seems almost rhythmic, I see a glimmer of what once was. A world where hope still flickered, however faintly. But that world is now overrun by forces beyond our control. Forces that have awakened to reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs. Now, as I draw closer to the unknown, the static becomes a mirror to my soul, a chaotic canvas upon which the tragedies of our time are painted in harsh, unforgiving strokes. Every discordant note that pierces this broadcast is a reminder of the fragility of life. I feel it with every fiber of my being, the knowledge that, at any moment, the line between existence and oblivion can shatter like fragile glass. I remember the sound of laughter, the rustle of leaves in the spring breeze, and the comforting hum of everyday life, a life that now exists only in my memories. These sounds, once so familiar, are now lost amid the cacophony of a world at war with itself. In this final stretch of time before the next phase of this broadcast, I want you to understand that our struggle is not just against an external enemy, but against the relentless tide of despair that seeks to drown us all. I have heard the voices of those who came before me, whispered pleas in the dark, desperate calls for help that echo through time. They speak of battles fought, of sacrifices made, and of a hope that was, for a moment, almost within reach. But here, in this moment, hope feels like a candle flickering in the midst of a hurricane. I'm reaching out to you, my fellow survivors, with a message of both warning and remembrance. Do not let the chaos erase who you are. Cling to every memory, every sound, every heartbeat as a testament to the world that once was. Look at the shattered remnants of civilization around you, and know that even in the heart of this abyss, there is a story, our story, that continues to be written with every passing second. I can no longer ignore the painful truth that we stand at the crossroads of oblivion. The static, the discord, and the dissonant choir are not just auditory phenomena. They are the very manifestations of our collective fear. And as much as I want to believe in a future where the light triumphs over the dark, the evidence before me is unyielding. I ask you now, listen to these sounds, these words, and let them serve as a reminder of our humanity. In the chaos, let our voices be the beacon that guides us through the dark. I do not know what awaits us in the next moments, whether salvation or further damnation. All I know is that our time is running out, and every sound, every heartbeat, every fleeting moment matters. If this broadcast reaches you, if these words echo in your mind, then know that you are not alone. We are bound together by the relentless force of survival, by the shared memory of a world that once sang with life. In the face of the coming storm, let our resolve be unbroken. Let these final words, drowned in static and sorrow, be the rallying cry of those who refuse to surrender to the night. May the echoes of our voices defy the darkness, and remind us that even as we descend into uncertainty, there is beauty in our struggle, a beauty born of the strength of our shared humanity. Listeners, I know you're still with me, though the static might make it hard to discern every word. I find myself caught in a liminal space, a twilight zone between what once was and what this nightmare has become. At this very moment, the air around me is alive with whispers. They are not the voices of the living, but the echoes of those who once believed in a tomorrow. I can almost decipher their murmurs, fragments of a memory, a warning, or perhaps a plea. Remember, a voice, so faint that I cannot be sure if it's my own mind conjuring ghosts of the past, or something more sinister drifting on the breeze. I sit here in the remnants of what used to be a sanctuary, and every crackle of the static speaks to me of loss, a loss of safety, of certainty, of hope. The piano note, it comes and goes, like the heartbeat of this forsaken world, reminding me that even in silence, there is sorrow. In these moments of whispered dread, I question whether the voices I hear are real or the desperate product of a fractured mind. Yet, I must report them as they come, for in every hushed syllable lies the truth of our crumbling reality. Listen, let these echoes be a reminder that nothing is ever truly silent here. Each murmur is a ghost of the past, urging us to remember what we once were, even as we fade into the darkness. Every whispered word, every elusive memory, is a thread in the tapestry of our collective despair. And even as the night grows ever darker, I cling to the belief that these fragments of sound are our only connection to a time when hope still lived among us. As I continue this broadcast, I find myself questioning not only the nature of the sounds, but the very reality around me. The line between what is tangible and what is a trick of the mind blurs with every passing moment. I hear footsteps in the distance, a measured cadence that might be someone approaching, or perhaps it is the sound of my own heart, echoing in an empty corridor of despair. There are voices that contradict each other. One moment, a gentle murmur insists, "It's safe, stay calm," and the next, a harsh, urgent whisper hisses, "They are coming, do not trust the silence." How do I reconcile these conflicting messages? Is it that my mind, battered by the relentless assault of terror, is fracturing? Or is it that the world itself has become a labyrinth of dualities where salvation and doom, life and death, coalesce into a single, unyielding force? I find myself at a crossroads. In one hand, there is the comforting thought of a rescue, a return to the semblance of order we once knew. In the other, the stark reality of our current existence. A world where even the static is a harbinger of death. These dissonant chords that ripple through the air, they are the music of a broken reality. They tell me that nothing is as it seems, that every sound, every echo, may be a sign of something hidden, something waiting just beyond the threshold of perception. I am both reporter and reluctant witness to this paradox. With each word I speak, I wonder if I am anchoring myself to sanity, or if I am drifting further into the void of a shattered mind. Yet, I must continue. For every moment of uncertainty, every fragment of conflicting reality, is a testament to the resilience of those who still dare to listen, to hope, to fight back against the overwhelming darkness. Even as I wrestle with these contradictions, one thing remains clear. The world we once knew is irretrievably lost. In its place is a kaleidoscope of fractured realities, each as real and terrifying as the next. Now, listeners, something new is stirring in the shadows, a surge of the unseen that I can almost feel beneath my feet. This low-frequency drone, this ever-growing hum in the background, is not just another anomaly in the static. It is the sound of something massive, something inexorable that is drawing closer. With every passing second, the rapid beats of my heart seem to synchronize with the pulse of this ominous drone. I sense the approach of a force that is both natural and utterly alien, as if the very fabric of this forsaken world is preparing for a reckoning. I catch snippets of distant shouts. Angry, terrified, resigned. They mingle with the percussive beats in the low rumble, forming a symphony of impending doom. Is it the cry of survivors rallying for one last stand? Or is it the chorus of the dead, summoning their own dark justice? I dare not hope for the former, for the signs all point to an unstoppable convergence. A collision of fate that leaves no room for mercy. This force, unseen yet palpably real, seems to ripple through the air, altering the very atmosphere around me. I can feel the pressure in my chest, the weight of inevitability pressing down like a vice. In moments like these, it is as if time itself is holding its breath, each heartbeat a countdown to something beyond comprehension. I have no answers, only the overwhelming certainty that we stand on the brink of a new horror, one that defies every law of nature we once trusted. Listen closely, for the crescendo of this drone may be the last sound you ever hear before the darkness swallows everything. And yet, even in the face of such terror, I refuse to remain silent. I will bear witness to every vibration, every subtle shift in the air, and relay it to you, no matter how unbearable it may be. We are in the midst of a transformation, a dark metamorphosis that reshapes the boundaries of existence. The unseen is no longer a mere concept, it is a force that moves among us, altering every fiber of our being. In the midst of this maelstrom of sound and fury, I reach a moment of decision, a juncture where every choice, every word spoken, may tip the scales between survival and oblivion. For too long, I have wandered between hope and despair, caught in the relentless oscillation of fear and defiance. Now, with the unseen force surging ever nearer, I find myself compelled to choose not just for my own sake, but for every soul clinging to the remnants of a shattered world. This sustained note, this piercing sound that cuts through the chaos, it is a call to arms, a moment of clarity amid the din. I can feel the steady beat of my heart, a reminder that, as long as it continues, there remains a chance to fight, to make our voices count against the overwhelming silence of defeat. I have heard the conflicting voices of comfort and warning, of past memories and future dread, and I must now decide which to heed. I choose to believe in the power of our shared struggle, in the possibility that even in the face of inevitable darkness, the spark of humanity can light the way. Let this be our moment of defiance, a declaration that we will not go quietly into the night. Though the unseen force presses in from every side, we will stand together, our voices united in a final, resolute chorus. For every heartbeat that resounds in this broadcast is a testament to our enduring spirit. And so, I make this pledge, I will continue to speak, to chronicle our fight, until the very end. If you're out there, hear me now. Our decisions in these final moments matter more than ever. Let this sustained note, this heartbeat, be the promise that we will not be forgotten. We are the last echo of a world that once was, and we will carry its memory forward, no matter the cost. Now, as the crescendo of our collective heartbeat gives way to a somber melody, I stand at the precipice of revelation. A truth so profound, so devastating, that it defies simple explanation. For in the silence that follows our moment of decision, I have seen it, a vision of what our world has become, and what it might yet be. In the midst of the static, I caught a glimpse of faces, familiar and long forgotten, etched in anguish and regret. They whispered secrets of the past, of decisions made in desperation, and of a future that was never meant to be. I now understand that our struggle has never been solely against the tangible horde that marches beyond our barricade. It has been against the very nature of despair itself, the slow, inexorable pull of regret that drags us into oblivion. The tolling of that distant church bell, the weeping wind, and the fading strains of the violin, they speak of a final reckoning. A reckoning where every lost hope, every abandoned dream, converges into a single unbearable truth that we have been the architects of our own downfall. And yet, even as this realization cuts deep, I cannot help but feel that in our defiance lies the last vestige of our humanity. We may be battered, broken, and on the verge of surrender. But as long as we speak these words, as long as we bear witness to our own story, there remains a chance to reclaim what we have lost. I speak to you now not just as a broadcaster in the dark, but as one who has seen the raw face of regret. I have heard the voices of those who paid the ultimate price for their hopes, and I am haunted by the knowledge that our decisions have shaped a destiny of sorrow. Yet, in this moment of revelation, I choose to embrace our shared burden. I choose to honor the memories of those who came before us by vowing that their sacrifice will not be in vain. The static, the whispers, the pounding heart of this forsaken world, they are all the echoes of our collective past. And even as regret fills every corner of my being, I hold on to the belief that our story is not yet finished. For every sorrowful note that lingers in the air, for every toll of that distant bell, let it be a reminder. We are not defined by our failures, but by our resolve to rise again. This is my final revelation for now, a confession of regret mingled with a promise of defiance. I do not know what tomorrow holds. I do not know if this broadcast will be the last that you ever hear. But I do know this, as long as there is a voice to speak, a heart to beat, and a memory to share, there is hope. So I ask you, my fellow survivors, to hold on tightly to your own memories. Cherish the moments of light amidst the darkness, and let them guide you through the long night ahead. For in our shared struggle, in our collective regret and resolve, lies the spark that can one day ignite a new dawn. More than 90% of the survivors don't have our radio channel tuned in, subscribed to ensure complete safety in this apocalypse. Attention, all survivors listening. The night has turned its face toward us. Listen to that thunder, the crushing weight of footsteps that herald the arrival of the horde. I'm positioned at the shattered remains of what used to be our control room, and right now, I can feel the ground tremble under the relentless march of the dead. Every thud, every groan of collapsing barriers, is a reminder that time is no longer our ally. The enemy is here, and they are relentless. I can hear the metallic symphony of our defenses shattering, the sound of glass splintering, wood splintering as barricades buckle beneath the force of their assault. It's as if the very fabric of this place is tearing apart, and I'm caught in the middle. For a moment, the static swallowed every other sound. Then the bass pulses took over, syncing perfectly with the heavy cadence of those oncoming legs. I've never felt fear like this. This is a force that's unyielding, a tide that will wash away all remnants of the world we knew. I repeat, the horde is upon us. Their approach is unmistakable, a rhythmic, inexorable pounding that shakes every fiber of my being. I can barely form a coherent thought as I scramble for a position behind this weakened barrier. My heart is racing faster than the storm outside, and each beat is a countdown to the unknown. Listen if you're out there. If you still have a spark of hope, find shelter, hide in the shadows, and pray that the chaos passes you by. I can only hope my voice reaches you before the darkness takes over completely. Here, at this very moment, I feel the full, terrifying weight of our predicament. The enemy is not just coming. They are here, pounding at our doors, ripping through the barriers we built with our own hands. I'm not sure if our defenses will hold, but I will document every heartbeat of this onslaught, every echo of our struggle. Stay with me, survivors. This is not the end, not yet. Survivors, I'm in the thick of it now. The horde has breached the outer defenses. I can see their silhouettes in the flickering light, a writhing mass of decay and fury surging forward. Every step they take is like the pounding of a war drum, relentless and terrifying. I'm trying to hold this position, to keep broadcasting, though the sounds of combat threaten to drown out my voice. There's a cacophony of destruction all around me. Metal is clashing, concrete is crumbling, and somewhere in the chaos I catch fleeting screams. Screams of those caught in the brutal clash between survival and oblivion. I must warn you, if you're within earshot of these sounds, do not venture out. Now is not the time for recklessness. Find a place to hide, fortify your shelter, and keep your eyes and ears open for any sign of hope. I can barely breathe over the roar of the onslaught. My hands are shaking as I hold this microphone. Each word is a plea, a desperate cry for anyone to remember that we are still fighting. I see movement. Too many movements. As figures surge forward, I can hear their ragged breaths mingling with the sound of clashing debris. The impact of every collision echoes like a death knell. The static is now a constant companion, a grim reminder that every moment could be our last. And yet, even as the enemy's advance overwhelms the barrier, I stand resolute. I will not let this broadcast become nothing more than a ghostly echo in the darkness. Listen, if you hear my voice, let it be a beacon in this chaos. Remember, even as the world crumbles around us, our will to survive is what defines us. I promise you this, I will keep speaking, keep recording every moment, until either you or I find a way out of this nightmare. The enemy is here, and they are merciless. I feel the ground shudder beneath the weight of their numbers, and I know that this is a battle that we may not win. But as long as there is a heartbeat, there is hope. So to you out there hiding in the darkness, don't give up. The fight continues even in the midst of chaos. Every second feels like an eternity now, every sound a testament to the brutality of our new reality. Survivors, in the midst of this relentless storm, I find myself clinging to a fragile thread of hope. For a brief moment, there is a lull, a gap in the barrage of sound, where the enemy's fury seems to hold its breath. It is in this moment of desperate quiet that I hear something else, a chorus of voices, soft but determined, as if echoing a long-forgotten hymn. Is it the sound of survivors rallying, or is it simply the sound of our collective will to keep fighting, hidden within the static? My heart pounds in my ears, each beat a reminder that I am still alive, still resisting the darkness. I can almost imagine the faces of those who have taken refuge, who have fortified their homes against the tide of death. This is not a time for despair. No, it is a time for defiance. I know it sounds like madness to shout into the void, but if these words reach you, if you can hear the tremor in my voice, let them be a call to arms. Look around you, listen to every sound, every heartbeat. Let the silence between the screams speak of our unity, our determination to endure. Even as the enemy gathers strength outside these crumbling walls, our resolve can be the spark that ignites a final stand. I'm taking a moment to steady myself now. I'm recalibrating my mind, gathering every ounce of courage to face what comes next. Because if we allow ourselves to fall into the abyss of hopelessness, then the enemy will have won long before the final blow is struck. So, if you're listening, if you're hiding in the shadows, raise your voice with me. Let the sound of our defiance rise above the relentless drum of destruction. We may be battered and on the brink, but as long as we hold on to that spark of hope, there remains a chance. I will not let this moment be swallowed by the darkness. I will keep speaking, keep fighting, until every last echo of our determination is heard. This brief reprieve, it is our rallying cry, a reminder that even in the heart of terror, we are not alone. We are together, bound by the shared struggle to survive, and by the hope that tomorrow, however uncertain, might yet bring a dawn. Hold on, survivors, hold on to that hope. For in every pause, every moment of quiet before the next onslaught lies the strength to rise again. Listen carefully, survivors. Even as the enemy presses in, I have managed to secure a vantage point behind what remains of our last line of defense. In the midst of this chaos, I detected a series of beeps and mechanical wares, signals that might be coming from a hidden communication network or even automated defenses. This might be our last chance to coordinate, to send a message to those still scattered in the ruins. I am recording every sound, every coded beep, in the hope that someone out there can piece together our strategy. I don't know who initiated these signals, but they are a sign that we are not entirely without recourse. Somewhere in the darkness, a spark of organized resistance burns. I've been marking down the intervals, each beep, each mechanical hum, as they occur. They come in a sequence, almost rhythmic, as if they are a heartbeat of a larger plan. I repeat the sequence: beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. If anyone is listening, use this as a coordinate. Speak and follow the pattern and seek out any signals that match it. There may be a safe haven, a rally point, or even a group that has managed to activate a countermeasure against the tide. I know it sounds like a far-fetched hope in the midst of this onslaught, but sometimes hope is all we have. And in the silence that follows the relentless chaos, I hear the distant sound of resistance rising, an undercurrent of determination that refuses to be silenced by despair. I am not sure how much time we have before the next wave hits, but I promise you, I will hold this position for as long as I can, relaying every detail, every signal, every whisper of defiance. This is our moment to organize, to send out a call for help, and to remind each other that even in the darkest hour, there is a strategy, a plan waiting to be uncovered in the midst of the chaos. Take this message as both a warning and a rallying cry. I will continue to document, to speak, to fight, until every last sound of resistance is amplified beyond the static. For all of us, for the memory of the world we once knew, and for the hope of a future that may yet be reclaimed. Survivors, hear this final message from the front line. The crescendo of tonight's terror is building to a climax that I fear may mark the turning point of our struggle. Every sound, every impact, every mechanical beep now converges into a single, overwhelming moment of reckoning. I can feel the enemy's force pressing in from all sides. The ground itself seems to shudder with the weight of their numbers. The sirens that cut through the tumult are not just alarms. They are the very heartbeat of our nightmare. I want you to know that even as I record these final moments of this interval, I feel a deep, unyielding sorrow. Not just for what we have lost, but for what may soon be taken from us forever. Yet in that sorrow, there is also a fierce determination, a promise that as long as I have breath in my body, I will keep speaking, keep fighting, and keep relaying our story to anyone who dares to listen. I see the horde moving like a tidal wave, a relentless, unstoppable force that seeks to erase every trace of the world we once knew. Their footsteps, their howls, their very presence speak of a fate that seems all but sealed. And yet, even in the face of such overwhelming odds, I refuse to surrender. I refuse to let our voices be silenced by the roar of oblivion. This is our final stand for now. A moment where every decision, every action, matters more than ever before. I call upon you, those hidden in the darkness, to find your courage, to rally your strength, and to make your stand. Let this broadcast be the spark that ignites a new flame of resistance. A reminder that even as the enemy gathers and the chaos reaches its peak, our will to survive burns brighter than any despair. I must now brace myself for what comes next. The sounds of the onslaught, the piercing sirens, the clamor of defiant hearts, all of it will be recorded, a testament to our struggle and a beacon for those who might yet follow. I do not know if this message will be heard beyond the confines of this ruined place. But if it does, let it serve as a warning, a guide, and above all, a reminder, even in the darkest hours, our resolve is our strongest weapon. As the crescendo builds and every sound converges into a final, overwhelming force, I vow that I will keep my voice alive. I will continue to broadcast until every last echo of hope, every heartbeat of defiance, is etched into the memory of a world that may yet rise again. To every soul listening, I say this: stand strong, fight hard, and do not let the darkness claim your spirit. We are the keepers of the flame, the guardians of memory, and even as the night closes in, our voices will ring out, loud, defiant, and unyielding. This is my final foretelling for this moment, a declaration of our undying resolve. May our voices be heard, may our hearts remain unbroken, and may the dawn find us still fighting. Survive and remember we are not alone. Survivors, in the wake of the onslaught there is a silence, a heavy, oppressive silence that is not the calm before the storm, but rather the grieving aftermath of a brutal assault. I can still hear the remnants of the enemy's fury echoing in the corridors of this shattered refuge. Every crash, every desperate shout, every heartbeat that pounded like war drums, they all now recede into a sorrowful murmur. I find myself caught between the devastation of what has just passed and the grim reality that we must now act. My hands still tremble, my breath shallow, as I listen to the mournful strains of a violin that seems to lament the loss of all we once held dear. For a moment, the chaos has retreated into memory, and with it comes a piercing clarity. I see the faces of those who fought, those who fell, and the unspoken promise that we must not let their sacrifice be in vain. I know you are out there, hidden in the darkness, listening, praying, and wondering if there remains any hope in this forsaken world. This silence, it is not a victory. It is the quiet despair of a world left in ruins. And yet, even in this sorrow, there is a spark, a faint, resilient spark that tells me we are not done fighting. Listen to these words, and let the sound of our collective grief forge a path to something more. A plan, a call to arms, a reminder that as long as we breathe, resistance is possible. Remember, every fallen friend, every shattered dream demands that we carry on. We owe it to them to find a way through this darkness. In these quiet moments, I allow myself a brief pause, a time to reflect on the enormity of what has unfolded. The battle has scarred our bodies, our spirits, and the very earth beneath us. I think of the voices that were silenced in the chaos, the dreams that now only echo in the static of our broadcast. Yet amid this despair, a plan begins to take shape. A desperate but necessary measure to reclaim even a fragment of the life we once knew. I have seen the enemy in their relentless fury, witnessed their unstoppable march through our defenses. But I have also seen cracks, small fissures in their method, moments when their chaos reveals an underlying pattern. If we are to survive, if we are to honor the memory of those lost, we must not only hide and hope, we must fight back. I propose we use this moment of quiet to organize a gathering of those brave enough to dare a counterstrike. I have intercepted fragments of signals codes hidden within the static that hint at safe zones, at secret caches of resources, and even at coordinated resistance groups working in the shadows. My plan is not without risk. It is a plan forged from desperation, etched in the silence between the screams. But I believe that within this chaos lies our opportunity, a chance to strike where the enemy is least expecting it, to turn the tide even if only for a moment. To you who are listening, if you have the strength, if you still believe in the promise of tomorrow, then know that you are not alone. Gather what you can, secure your shelters, and be ready to move. There is talk of a rendezvous point, a place rumored to be fortified, where survivors have gathered and are preparing to take the fight to the enemy. I cannot confirm its location with absolute certainty, but I have heard whispers of coordinates and cryptic instructions embedded in the background noise. We must be prepared to act quickly. The enemy, for all their overwhelming numbers, has moments of vulnerability. These fleeting opportunities are our only hope. So, as I record this message, I am also making a silent plea for those with the courage to rise against the tide of death. We must pool our knowledge, our resources, and our will to forge a path through this darkness. I will continue to monitor the frequencies, to pick up every hint of resistance and every signal of hope. Until then, hold on to this plan, this spark of defiance, and let it guide you. For every heartbeat that we preserve, for every voice that continues to speak, there is a chance to reclaim our future. Take these words to heart, survivors. Let them be the first step toward a new beginning, however distant it may seem right now. Now, to every soul out there listening, this is our call to unity. We stand at a precipice, teetering between oblivion and the fragile possibility of renewal. It is in moments like these that the bonds of our shared humanity are most important. I call on you, the survivors, the ones who still have a flicker of defiance burning in your hearts. Gather your strength. In the rubble of our once safe havens, there remains a spirit that refuses to be quenched. Listen to the harmonious undertones that rise from the background, a subtle reminder that even in darkness, there is a song of unity. I urge you, reach out to one another. Use whatever means you have, a whisper over the radio, a message scrawled on a battered wall, a shared code hidden within the static. We must coordinate our efforts. The enemy, for all their ferocity, is not invincible. They have patterns, vulnerabilities that we can exploit if we act as one. I know the thought of gathering in the open is fraught with peril. I understand the terror that grips you every time you hear the thunder of their march. But we must overcome that fear with the power of solidarity. In the coming hours, I will strive to decode more of these cryptic signals, a network of resistance that may be scattered across this broken land. And when the time comes, we will converge upon a point of safe harbor, a rallying point that promises a chance to strike back. Let this be our battle cry, that we will not succumb to despair, that our voices will continue to rise above the din of destruction. I ask you to spread this message to every corner where hope still lingers. For those of you brave enough to step out of the shadows, to challenge the relentless tide of the undead, know that you are the living memory of a world that once flourished. Your courage is the spark that can ignite a rebellion that may yet reclaim the future. So, rally together. Secure your positions, share your intelligence, and above all, never let the enemy silence your determination. Our unity is our strength. Each one of us is a vital note in the symphony of survival. And when our voices merge, they become a force that no horde can drown out. Let this broadcast serve as both a reminder and a command. We are not defeated until we cease to fight. Our unity, our shared hope, is the beacon that will guide us out of this darkness. Survivors, as we prepare to rally our forces, I have begun receiving clearer fragments of coded transmissions, digital beeps and rhythmic tones that form a clandestine language of resistance. These signals, once buried in the noise of our despair, are now emerging with purpose. I am working to decode them in real time, piecing together the instructions that may lead us to a secure rendezvous point. The enemy's relentless advance has revealed a pattern, a momentary lapse in their all-consuming fury. It is in this fleeting window that we must act decisively. I instruct you, if you have the means, to monitor these frequencies closely. The sequence you hear, beep, pause, beep, beep, pause, may very well be the coordinate to our salvation. I am coordinating with other scattered voices on this channel, trying to form a map out of the chaos. Each beep, each tone, is a heartbeat of a resistance that is slowly coming into focus. Our counteroffensive must be swift and measured. We will strike where the enemy's guard is low, exploiting every crack in their seemingly impenetrable wall. For those of you prepared to join this movement, gather your resources, rally your fellow survivors, and prepare to move on my signal. We must be ready to advance under the cover of darkness, to take back what has been stolen from us. I will continue to relay any further instructions as soon as they become clear. This is a critical moment, a juncture where hesitation could spell doom. Remember, our strength lies in our unity and our willingness to adapt. We have suffered immeasurable losses, but within that suffering, there is a reservoir of resilience. Use this time, however brief, to prepare. Secure your shelters, arm yourselves, and listen for the next sequence. When the time comes, we will move as one, swiftly, silently, and with the ferocity born of desperation. This is not merely a counterattack, it is our declaration that we refuse to be defined by the destruction that surrounds us. We are the resistance, and even the darkest night cannot hold back the dawn forever. Keep your ears open and your hearts steady. Every moment counts, and every signal may be the key to turning the tide in our favor. Survivors, this is the moment of truth, the final rally before the next wave engulfs us. The signals are clearer now, and the counteroffensive is on the horizon. I can feel it in the steady pulse of my heart, in the unified rhythm of every survivor who dares to listen. But I must also warn you, with every beacon of hope, there comes a dire omen. The piercing tones you now hear are not just markers, they are harbingers. They warn us that while our counterattack may be our salvation, it also beckons the enemy to gather once more. I see, in the flickering interference of this battered channel, a glimpse of what might come, the enemy rallying for a final, crushing surge. Their numbers may swell in response to our defiance, and in that surge, there is danger beyond measure. Yet, we cannot allow fear to paralyze us. We have seen too much loss, felt too much sorrow to now yield to despair. Our unity, our collective will to fight, is our only weapon against the relentless tide. And so, I call upon you one final time. Stand fast, prepare to move, and let our voices rise in one defiant chorus against the coming storm. The digital codes have laid out a path, a precarious route to a rumored safe zone where our efforts can be consolidated. I urge you to decipher these signals, to commit them to memory. and to be ready when I give the order. This is our final rallying cry before the enemy's next assault. A call that must echo in every heart, a reminder that even as darkness closes in, we remain the keepers of hope. Let the fusion of our voices, the steady beat of our defiant hearts, and the unyielding signals of resistance be our testament to the world. We will not go quietly into the night. I promise you this, my fellow survivors, I will continue to speak to guide and to document our struggle until my final breath. And as long as there is a spark of life within us, there is a chance to reclaim even a fragment of the world we have lost. May these final words, resonating through the chaos, be the oath that binds us together in this dark hour. Stand with me now, let your voices join mine, and let us defy the inevitable. For every tone that pierces the silence, every coded beep that offers direction, and every heartbeat that refuses to surrender, our time is not yet over. This is our rally, our counteroffensive, our moment to seize the future from the jaws of oblivion. To every soul listening, prepare yourselves. Our fight continues, and together, we will be the light that even the deepest darkness cannot extinguish. Stay alert, stay together, and above all, never stop fighting. Survivors, this is your voice in the darkness again. I know the past minutes have been a torrent of chaos and loss. The enemy's onslaught has battered our defenses, and I can still hear the echoes of that relentless barrage. But for now, there is a moment, a brief, haunting calm where the chaos seems to pause, leaving us with nothing but the painful silence of our memories and the uncertainty of what comes next. I find myself at a crossroads. The devastation around me is overwhelming, yet in this lull I can almost sense the stirrings of a new resolve. Every shattered remnant of our defenses, every lost soul, speaks to me of the price we have paid, and the price we must be willing to pay if we are to reclaim even a sliver of hope. I ask you, in this fleeting moment, to reflect on what we have endured. Let the silence remind you that even the smallest heartbeat is a victory against the encroaching darkness. Let us not forget that it is in these quiet intervals that our determination is forged. Even as we mourn, we prepare, and as the darkness looms ever larger, we must ready ourselves for the final push. In this moment of relative quiet, I cannot help but dwell on the cost of our survival. Every echo of that earlier assault is etched in my mind. Each crash of barricades, each cry of pain, each heartbeat that faltered under the weight of despair. I have lost friends tonight, comrades who fought alongside me with every ounce of their spirit. Their sacrifices echo in these halls, in every shattered beam and every fragment of static. I carry their memories like a torch, a reminder that even as the world burns around us, there is a light that can be reignited. I see the faces of those I once knew, and I feel the weight of every decision that led us to this crossroads. And yet, in the midst of this sorrow, there is a call to action. It is a call that speaks not only of loss, but also of the resilience that defines us. We have all been battered by this relentless storm. Yet each of us remains a beacon, a fragile but defiant spark in the encroaching night. Let that spark remind you that no matter how dark it may seem, our will to survive is unyielding. I urge you, if you are listening, to hold fast to your memories and to your hope. For in that hope lies the power to rise again, to forge a path through the wreckage, and to strike back against the forces that seek to claim us. Tonight, we mourn. Tomorrow, we fight, and in that fight, we honor every sacrifice with the promise of a new beginning. Attention, survivors! The calm we have endured is not an end in itself, but the prelude to what must come next. I have been monitoring the frequencies, and I can confirm that the coded signals we intercepted earlier are growing stronger. Clearer now, as if summoning the remnants of our resistance. I repeat, if you are within earshot, listen for the sequence. Beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. These are not random sounds, they are the coordinates of our rallying point. A beacon that, if we can decipher it fully, may guide us to a safe haven. I know the enemy is regrouping even as we speak. Their relentless assault has not ceased. It merely pauses for a moment, a lull before the next surge. In that moment, we must be ready. I ask you to prepare. Gather your supplies, secure your shelters, and, most importantly, remain vigilant. For in the midst of this darkness, every clear signal, every rhythmic beep is a lifeline. I have managed to relay some of these signals to a network of other survivors. We are coordinating our efforts to form a counteroffensive. A final surge that may buy us time, or even tip the scales in our favor. I urge you to remain connected. Check your radios, verify your coordinates, and be ready to move on my signal. This is not a time for despair, but for disciplined action. Our unity and our collective will are our strongest weapons. Every single one of you is a part of this network of resistance. And when we act as one, our voice becomes a force that can challenge even the relentless tide of the undead. Let this moment be a testament to our resolve. Even as the enemy prepares to strike again, we are ready. Our time is approaching, an imminent surge that will determine the course of our fight. As we edge closer to what may be our final stand, I can feel the weight of every decision, every loss, and every hope we have ever known pressing down upon me. This is the final countdown, survivors. A moment where every second ticks away like a heartbeat on borrowed time. The digital signals are now unmistakable, each beep marking the pace of our gathering force. I feel it in my bones, the inevitability of what is to come. The enemy will not wait forever, and neither can we. Every heartbeat, every pulsation of the steady beat is a reminder that our time is finite, that we must act decisively. I know many of you have been through hell to reach this point. I know that the grief and loss you carry are immense. But in that same grief lies the spark of defiance, the determination to reclaim a future from the jaws of oblivion. Tonight we stand at the edge of destiny. The signals you hear, these rhythmic, piercing tones, are the countdown to a moment that may define us. I ask you now, steel yourselves for what comes next. Draw upon the strength that has carried you through the darkest nights, and let that strength guide you forward. The next surge may bring either salvation or further hardship. But one thing remains certain: we will face it together, united in our resolve, armed with the knowledge that every act of defiance, every heartbeat, is a step toward reclaiming our world. Let the weight of our losses not be our undoing, but the foundation upon which we build our final stand. Every signal, every echo of this broadcast is a reminder that we are still alive, still fighting, still capable of hope. We are the last line of resistance, and our time is now. I promise you, I will continue to speak until the very end, to guide our efforts, and to ensure that every cry for help is heard above the cacophony of despair. Survivors, this is it. The final rallying cry before the enemy strikes again. I call upon every one of you, from the deepest shadows to the last flicker of hope, to join me in this moment of unity. Hear the call of the digital beeps, the steady rhythm of our collective heartbeat. They are not just signals, they are the voice of our resistance, echoing across the ruins of our world. Now is the time to rise, to gather our strength, and to prepare for the final surge. I ask you to repeat after me if you can hear me. We will not yield. We will not fall. We stand as one against the darkness. Let that cry be the spark that ignites the flame of our counteroffensive. In this moment, let our voices merge into one, a single, defiant roar that defies the inevitable. I know the night is dark, and I know the enemy is relentless. But know this, as long as our hearts beat and our voices ring out, there is hope. The tactical signals are clear. Beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. Memorize them, hold them close, and prepare to move on my signal. Our unified strength is the light that will guide us through the coming storm. Together, we will meet the enemy head on. Together, we will turn our sorrow into strength and our loss into a renewed determination to fight for a future that is ours to reclaim. I will continue to broadcast every moment of our struggle, every heartbeat of defiance, until our cause is either won or the final silence falls. For now, hold on to this moment. Let our rallying cry be a testament to the unbreakable spirit of those who refuse to be defeated. Survivors, the time is near. Stand fast, listen for my signal, and be ready to move. We are the light in the darkness, the last beacon of hope in a broken world. I promise you this, as long as you hear my voice, you are not alone. Together we rise. Together we fight. And together we will endure. Stay alert, stand together, and prepare, because the final surge is upon us. Survivors. For a moment, it seems the storm has paused, a breath drawn in the midst of chaos. I stand here amid the wreckage, where the echoes of battle fade into a haunting silence. Every shattered piece of our former world, every loss we have endured, weighs upon us like a stone in the heart. And yet, in this fragile calm, I sense that our journey is not over. I have felt the rush of terror and the agony of defeat, but I also sense a stirring, a deep, almost imperceptible hope that whispers of a new beginning even as the darkness clings to our souls. Let this silence remind you that every heartbeat, however faint, is a promise of life. We are still here. We have withstood the relentless fury of the enemy. And even in this quiet, Our resolve burns like a candle fighting the wind. Take these moments to remember those who have fallen, and to gather the strength needed for what lies ahead. For even in the stillness, the battle for our future rages on. In this hush, I can almost hear the murmurs of fate, the whispers of those who came before us, and the silent promises of tomorrow. Every decision we have made, every sacrifice, has led us to this moment. I feel the weight of destiny upon my shoulders, as though the very fabric of our existence is being rewoven in real time. I see the faces of those lost, etched into my memory like scars. Their voices, though silent now, echo in the digital chimes and whispered static. They remind me that we are not merely survivors. We are the inheritors of a legacy forged in fire and despair. The low drone that fills the air is not only the enemy's reminder, but also a call for us to rise above our grief. It is the heartbeat of a world in flux, signaling that change is at hand. I ask you to listen closely. Within these chimes and whispers lies a message that even the darkest night cannot smother the spark of destiny. We stand on the edge of an abyss, yet that very precipice offers us a chance to redefine our future. In the confluence of our sorrow and our strength, a new era may yet be born. Every whisper, every chime, is a reminder that our fate is not sealed. We are still in the process of writing our own story, and every heartbeat is a testament to our continued existence. Attention, survivors, prepare yourselves. I can feel it in the rising beat of the enemy's approach, a final gambit as they gather for one last, desperate push. The percussive rhythm in the background grows louder, faster, each beat a countdown to a collision of fates. The impact of their assault is already being felt, as sharp crashes and clanging metal punctuate the air. This is no longer a distant threat, it is here, it is now. I repeat, the enemy's final surge is upon us. Their forces, emboldened by our previous resistance, are now converging with a ferocity that leaves little room for hesitation. Yet, in this final moment of reckoning, we must not falter. The strength we have drawn from our losses, the unity we have forged in the face of despair, it must now be our shield and our sword. I urge every one of you, brace for impact. Secure your positions and ready yourselves for what may be the ultimate test of our will to survive. This is the moment when our actions will define not only the outcome of tonight's battle, but the very future of our existence. Let every crash, every beat be a reminder that our fight is far from over. We are the ones who choose to stand, to resist, and to defy the inevitable. Survivors, listen to me now. This is our moment of unyielding defiance. As the enemy's final surge draws near, I call upon every heartbeat that remains in this shattered world to rise as one. Repeat after me if you can. We stand united. We stand unbroken. We are the light that defies the night. Let these words be etched into your hearts, a mantra against the overwhelming darkness that seeks to engulf us. Our unity is not a fleeting sentiment. It is the force that will carry us through this final trial. Every sound you hear, the beats, the chimes, the hum of our collective spirit, is a testament to our refusal to yield. We have endured the storm, we have survived the onslaught, and now we face the enemy at the very brink of oblivion. I stand here, battered yet unbowed, to remind you that our strength lies not in the absence of fear, but in the courage to confront it head on. Let the sound of our defiance be a beacon, a signal to every soul that even as the enemy presses in, we are a force of nature, united in purpose and unwavering in resolve. For every loss we have suffered, for every tear shed in the darkness, we carry the promise of a new dawn. Together, we are more than the sum of our scars. We are a living testament to the power of hope and the resilience of the human spirit. Let our voices rise in defiance, let our hearts beat as one, and let the enemy hear our collective roar, a roar that will echo through the ruins and into the future. Survivors, as we approach the final countdown, I feel an energy shift, a subtle change in the air that hints at what may come after this night of terror. The enemy's surge is at its peak, and our forces are poised for the decisive clash. I can sense it in every heartbeat, every digital signal echoing through the static. In the midst of chaos, there is always the possibility of renewal. Even as the darkness presses in, a glimmer of light begins to emerge, a soft, hopeful piano that promises a new day. I do not claim that victory is assured, nor that the outcome of this final stand is certain. But I do know this, as long as our voices rise together, as long as we stand united in defiance, there is hope for tomorrow. I call upon every one of you, prepare to move when I give the signal. Memorize the tactical codes, beat, pause, beat, pause, and hold fast to them as the key to our rallying point. This is our final moment before the next surge, a moment to steel our resolve and to stand as the last barrier against the tide. Let our hearts beat in unison, our voices merge into a single clarion call, and our determination shine through even the darkest of nights. I promise you this, I will remain here, broadcasting every moment, every cry, every heartbeat of our struggle until the end. And if we survive this, if our defiance lights the path forward, know that today will be remembered as the night we chose hope over despair. Now let us prepare for the final countdown. Stand with me, listen to the digital signals, and get ready to push forward together. We are the resistance. We are the light in this endless night. And as long as our voices ring out in defiance, a new dawn is possible. Survivors, this is our final rallying cry. Stay alert, stay together, and prepare. Because the final surge is almost upon us. May our united spirit be the spark that brings forth a new day. Survivors, in the wake of the enemy's final surge, a silence now blankets these ravaged grounds. The fury has subsided, leaving behind nothing but the echoes of what once was. A fierce, relentless storm that has swept away our familiar world. I stand here amid the debris, where every shattered piece and every broken barrier tells a story of our struggle and our sacrifice. The clamor of battle has faded into a mournful silence, and in that silence, the cost of our fight becomes painfully clear. I can still hear the fading pulse of the digital beeps, a reminder that even in the quiet, our signals of hope persist. Every note of this piano, every lingering chord, is a requiem for those we have lost. Let us pause for a moment together to honor the memory of every fallen friend, every comrade whose light was extinguished in the darkness of this night. Their sacrifice is etched into the very air we breathe, a solemn promise that we must remember them as we forge ahead. May their voices guide us, and may their memory be the spark that kindles our resolve to rebuild. As I scan the horizon of this broken world, I see shadows moving among the wreckage, a sign that we are not alone. In the distance, faint footsteps echo across shattered concrete, and I catch the murmur of voices, tentative and low, as survivors emerge from their hiding places. It is in these small, almost imperceptible signs of life that I find a glimmer of hope. The enemy may have swept through with overwhelming force, but our spirit, fragile as it may be, still endures. I urge every soul listening to take heart. Check your surroundings, listen carefully for the voices of those who might be nearby. Every sound, every footstep in the distance, is a reminder that in the ruins of our past, the seeds of tomorrow may already be taking root. We are scattered, yes, but we remain connected through this broadcast, through our shared determination to survive and rebuild. Let us use this moment to reach out, to offer help, to share resources, and to reaffirm that our unity is our strength. Even in these quiet, uncertain hours, even now, the smallest voice can be the catalyst for change. Remember, hope often hides in the faintest whispers of life. In the quiet that now envelops us, I find my thoughts turning to the faces and voices of those we have lost. Each life that fell in the heat of battle was more than a casualty. They were a beacon of hope, a reminder that we once had a future full of promise. I can almost see their faces in the flickering light of this battered channel, the determined eyes, the warm smiles that have been replaced by silence. This is a time for mourning, for letting our grief remind us of the cost of survival. And yet, even as we mourn, we must also honor their memory by carrying forward the flame of their dreams. The strains of this violin speak to that duality, the sorrow of loss and the gentle, persistent call to remember. Let every note, every chime, serve as a testament to the lives that were lost. Their legacy is now our burden and our duty. We owe it to them to rebuild, to reclaim a world where their sacrifice was not in vain. In our hearts, their voices still echo, a quiet promise that even in the deepest darkness, their light endures. Let us remember them not with despair alone, but with the determination to forge a better tomorrow in their honor. Now, survivors, as the silence deepens and the echoes of battle slowly recede, I ask you to envision a future beyond tonight's despair. For even in this aftermath, amid the scars of conflict and the weight of loss, there is the undeniable promise of renewal. I have seen evidence of resilience in every corner of these ruins, a barricade repaired by desperate hands, a whispered message of solidarity among those too wary to fight alone. Our struggle is far from over. In fact, it has only just begun. I propose that we not only honor our past, but also begin to build the framework of our future. Use this moment to reach out to one another, to share what little resources we may have, and to organize for the days ahead. I have been working to decode the signals from our scattered network of survivors. The digital beeps you hear, they are not just echoes of the battle, they are the coordinates of safe havens, meeting points for the brave, and the promise that our community is still alive. Let these signals be the foundation upon which we rebuild. Together, we can create a network, a tapestry of voices that will transform this desolation into a new beginning. I ask you to hold on to this vision. Even the smallest spark of hope can ignite a fire that dispels the deepest darkness. Our future may be uncertain, but it is not lost. We have survived the night, and with each passing moment, we gather the strength to shape a world where hope can flourish once again. Let this be our guiding light, a vision that inspires us to pick up the pieces and to build, step by step, a future that honors both our pain and our perseverance. Survivors, as I bring this broadcast to a close for tonight, I leave you with this final message, a call to remember to rebuild and to rise. The night has been long, and the darkness has been deep. Yet even now, as the echoes of battle fade into memory, I sense a stirring, a gentle pulse that heralds the coming of dawn. Our journey has been wrought with pain and loss, but within that pain lies the seed of transformation. Listen closely to these final tactical beeps. Beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. They are the coordinates of our next gathering, the signposts of a community that refuses to be broken by despair. I urge you to hold on to that spark. Reach out to your neighbors, to every voice you can find. Let our network be the scaffold upon which we rebuild not just our defenses, but our very lives. This is our final message for tonight. We have survived the onslaught. We have mourned the fallen. And now, with the first light of dawn breaking through the remnants of darkness, we have a chance to create something new from the ashes of our past. May our unity be the bedrock of this new beginning, and may every signal, every whispered hope light the way forward. I will remain on this frequency as long as the air allows, broadcasting every heartbeat of our collective journey, until we are ready to meet again under a brighter sky. Remember, survivors, even the longest night gives way to day. Stand together, share your strength, and know that the future we build is the legacy of every sacrifice made. I promise you, as long as we hold on to hope, as long as our voices rise in unison, we will not only survive, but we will reclaim our world. This is your voice in the darkness, signing off with a promise: we rise, we rebuild, and we are never truly alone. Stay safe, stay connected, and let the dawn be our guide. Survivors, listen closely. This is the moment we have been waiting for. Our network of resistance is coming together, and the tactical signals you hear are our lifeline. They are no longer mere echoes. They are the call to arms for every soul still fighting in the darkness. I repeat the sequence clearly: beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. Let it resonate in your hearts as the coordinate for our final gathering point. Right now, across these shattered ruins, every hidden cell, every brave voice is aligning for one decisive act. We are no longer isolated whispers in the static. We are a chorus of defiance, united in purpose and unbreakable resolve. I know the enemy believes they have broken our spirit. But hear me now, our unity is our greatest weapon. Stand tall, gather your courage, and prepare to move when the time comes. Every heartbeat, every echo of this broadcast is a testament to our collective strength. We will not allow the night to swallow our light. This is our final rally. Let our voices join as one, forging an unyielding shield against the coming tide. Together, we will push back the darkness. Hold this moment close, survivors. Our strength is in our unity, and our final stand begins now. Attention all units. This is your command center speaking. I am receiving multiple clear transmissions from our cells across the zone. I now confirm our resistance network is in place. Check your frequency and verify the sequence. Beep, pause, beep, beep, pause, and align with the designated coordinates. I am relaying the positions of our key strongholds and safe havens. Listen for the next set of instructions. Those in the northern sector, prepare to secure the passage. Those in the eastern quadrant, reinforce your barricades, and every unit, hold your position until the signal to advance is given. Our enemy's forces, though desperate, are gathering for a final counteroffensive. I have received confirmation through our secure channel that they are massing on our flank. An attempt to shatter our unity once and for all. This is our moment of truth. I need every one of you to remain sharp and resolute. The digital codes you hear are our map to safety and strength. If your radio cracks with interference, focus on the rhythmic pattern. It is your beacon. Let no one falter. Every confirmation you send back reinforces our collective resolve. Remember, our unity is not just in our voices, it is in our coordinated actions. I repeat again for clarity: beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. Memorize it, hold it, and let it guide you. Units, confirm your positions now. Let our collective response be the signal that we stand united against the enemy's final surge. Let every coded transmission remind you that together, we are unstoppable. Survivors, the enemy's final stand is upon us. They have thrown everything they have at us. I can hear their thunderous advance, the percussive beats of their march, the crashing of their assault, and the shrill cries that echo through the chaos. They are determined, desperate, and relentless. But let me tell you this, their fury will not break us. Every crash, every impact is met with the resolve of those who refuse to surrender. Our enemy believes that with one final surge, they can erase our hope. Yet, as I listen to the dissonant tones that signal their approach, I see only the growing defiance of our united resistance. This is the moment when our collective strength will be tested. I know the stakes are high. I know that every second counts as the enemy surges forward. I urge you, hold your ground. Stand firm against the tide. Let the sound of their assault be the drumbeat that drives our final counteroffensive. Remember, we have prepared for this moment through every hardship, every loss, and every act of defiance that has brought us here. Our resolve is unbreakable. I will continue to relay tactical updates. Stay alert for the moment when I signal the final push. Until then, hold your positions, conserve your strength, and let our unity be the shield that guards us against this assault. Together, we will confront this last surge and prove that even in the face of overwhelming force, our spirit cannot be crushed. Survivors, now is the time. The decisive final stand is upon us. The enemy's massed forces roar at our doorstep, but we will not yield. Today, every unit, every voice, every heartbeat of our united resistance will make its mark on this battle. I call upon you now, repeat with me, loud and clear. We are unbroken. We are united. We will fight until the end. Let these words echo across every shattered wall, every ruined street, and every heart that still beats in defiance. The time has come to execute our final strategy. When you hear the piercing tactical chime, that is your signal. The moment to surge forward as one unstoppable force. I can feel it in every pulse and in every note of our unified call. Our final counteroffensive will be the turning point. We have prepared, we have coordinated, and now, with every ounce of our strength, we will reclaim our future. As the enemy crashes into our defenses, let our united roar be the answer to their aggression. Stand together, strike together, and let your determination be the beacon that guides us through this last, fierce confrontation. I promise you, survivors, our unity, our courage, and our indomitable will turn the tide. This is our final stand, our moment to etch our legacy into the annals of this fallen world. When the tactical chime rings out, move as one, and let the enemy feel the full force of our collective resolve. Remember, our strength lies in our unity. Today we fight not just for survival, but for the promise of a new dawn. Survivors, as we enter this final countdown, I feel a shift in the air. The chaos has reached its peak, and now, in the very moments before our final surge, we stand at the edge of tomorrow. The enemy's roar is fading into a resolute pulse, a heartbeat that mirrors our own. And amidst the fading din, a warm piano begins to sing the song of a new day. I ask you to focus on these final signals, the persistent tactical beeps that mark our last coordinated effort. They are the signposts that will lead us to victory, if we dare to follow them. We have gathered every ounce of strength from our struggles, every lesson learned from our losses, and now, as one united force, we will step forward into the unknown. This is our final countdown. When the signal sounds, let us move as one. Let us strike with the precision of a single heartbeat, and let our collective will be the spark that ignites a new beginning. I promise you this, as long as we stand together, as long as our voices continue to ring out in defiance, we will reclaim our world from the grasp of darkness. May our final rally be the turning point, a testament that even in the midst of despair, hope can be reborn. Stay focused, stay united, and prepare for the final surge. Our destiny lies ahead, and together we will meet it with courage and determination. Survivors, this is our final countdown. Let our unity guide us to the dawn, and may every step we take bring us closer to a future where our voices are heard. I will remain on this frequency, reporting every heartbeat of our final stand. Stand ready, and together, Let us embrace the promise of tomorrow. Survivors, as the dust begins to settle over these ravaged grounds, I invite you to take a moment with me. One of solemn reflection. The night we have endured was wrought with pain, sacrifice, and a fury that shook the very foundations of our world. I stand here, amidst broken concrete and shattered dreams, and I see before me the remnants of our struggle. Barricades that have been torn asunder, the echoes of enemy roars now fading into silence, and the quiet drip of rain washing over wounds both visible and hidden. Each sound, the soft patter of water, the mournful strains of our strings, and even the lingering digital chimes, tells a story of loss. But they also whisper of resilience. For in every drop of rain and every fading note, I hear the heartbeat of survivors who have not yet given up. Tonight, I remember every friend, every comrade, whose light was extinguished in the chaos. I honor them with this pause, with these words. Their sacrifice is not in vain, it is the bedrock upon which we will rebuild. Listen to the rain, let it cleanse our grief and remind us that even after the darkest night, nature offers the promise of renewal. In this silence, where battle's fury has been replaced by a tender, fragile calm, we find our collective strength emerging from the ashes. We have witnessed the worst that darkness can offer, and yet here we stand, scarred, yes, but unbowed. Now is the time to reflect, to learn, and to prepare for the work ahead. May the memory of this night fuel our determination to forge a better future. We are bound by loss, but more importantly, by the promise that we will rebuild, stronger and wiser than before. Survivors, if you are out there listening, know this: you are not alone. The signals I now receive, clear and resolute, are the lifelines of our scattered network. Across these broken lands, I hear your voices, your whispers of determination, as you gather in small groups, seeking the safety of solidarity. Each digital beep, every code repeated, beep, pause. Beep, pause is a sign that our community endures. I call on you now, reach out. If you are isolated in the shadows, use your radios to connect with others. Share your coordinates, exchange your hopes, and form new bonds of trust. The enemy may have shattered our defenses, but they cannot break our spirit when we stand together. I am receiving confirmations from cells in the northern sector, from pockets of survivors sheltering in the ruins of the old city. Your voices, soft yet persistent, are the music of our rebirth. Let the warmth of these tactical transmissions remind you that our connection, our unity, is the most powerful weapon we possess. As we gather, our numbers may be small, but every life that joins this network becomes a part of the greater whole, a tapestry of courage woven from the threads of hope and shared resolve. Take heart, survivors. Use these signals as your compass in the chaos, as the coordinates that lead you to safety and strength. Our voices united are the light that pierces through the darkness. Now, survivors, listen well. This is the moment of our collective oath. In the aftermath of darkness, we must now declare to the world and to ourselves that we will rise again. I ask you to join me in a solemn vow, a pledge that our unity and resilience will be the foundation of the future we build. Repeat after me, if you can hear my voice clearly. We rise as one. We rebuild from the ashes. Our hope is unyielding, our bond unbreakable. Let these words resonate across every channel, across every ruined street and hidden shelter. Our oath is not just a promise, it is a declaration that the sacrifices of those we have lost will fuel our renewal. Feel the rising choral hum, each voice a testament to our shared determination. Let the gentle piano arpeggios remind you that even after the longest night, the dawn comes quietly, steadily, and with hope. Our digital chimes, the constant rhythm of our unity, are the heartbeat of this new era. In this moment, we swear that we will not be defined by our scars, but by the strength we muster to heal, rebuild, and reclaim our world. Our oath is our lifeline, a sacred promise that no matter the challenges ahead, our collective spirit will light the way to a future we dare to imagine. Let this oath echo in your heart, survivors. Hold it close as the beacon that guides you from despair to the promise of renewal. Survivors, as we stand on the threshold of a new era, it is time to lay the foundations for the world we wish to reclaim. The battle we fought tonight is not the end. It is the beginning of our transformation. I now call upon every survivor, every hidden cell to begin the work of rebuilding. Our tactical transmissions remain active. Beep, pause, beep, beep, pause. And they are the coordinates for our next safe havens. These signals are not just echoes of the past. They are the roadmap to our future. They will guide you to gathering points where we can share resources, plan our reconstruction, and support one another as we forge a path out of these ruins. Imagine a network of safe havens, communities connected not just by necessity but by a shared vision of renewal. In these sanctuaries, we will rebuild not only our shelters but our lives. I urge you to mark your maps with these coordinates. Reach out via your radios, connect with those in distant sectors, and let us form alliances that stretch across the remnants of our old world. Our community, though battered and fragmented, is capable of greatness when united. Every small act of reconstruction, every building block laid down in defiance of despair, is a step toward reclaiming the future that has always been ours. Together we will reestablish communication networks, share our knowledge, and rebuild the very fabric of society from the ground up. This is not an easy task. The scars of tonight's battle are deep. Yet, it is in these scars that the seeds of our renewal take root. I ask each of you to commit to this mission. Let us rebuild with the strength of our unity, with the memory of those we have lost as our guiding light, and with the hope that our combined efforts can create a world worthy of our sacrifices. Together, we will lay the foundation of a new tomorrow, a tomorrow built on resilience, cooperation, and an unyielding commitment to the future. Survivors, as we draw this broadcast to a close, I ask you to take a final, resolute oath, a renewal of the commitment we have made tonight to reclaim our future from the darkness of the past. We have mourned, we have fought, and we have begun the long, arduous work of rebuilding. Now, let our united voices rise one last time in affirmation of our shared destiny. Repeat with me, with all your heart, from the ashes we rise, together as one. Our past is our lesson, our unity is our strength, and our future is ours to build. Feel that rising orchestral swell. It is the sound of dawn breaking across the horizon, a promise that no matter how long the night, the light will return. Every digital chime, every tactical beep that you hear is a testament to our enduring connection, a reminder that our network spans these ruins and carries with the hopes of a better tomorrow. I stand here, your voice in the darkness, affirming that our struggle is not over, but that we have taken the first bold steps toward a new beginning. Let the memory of tonight's battle inspire you to rebuild, to connect, and to stand firm in the face of adversity. Our oath is renewed with every heartbeat, every word spoken in defiance of the past, and every signal that carries our promise into the future. I will remain on this frequency as long as there is a need for hope, as long as our voices can carry our shared dream. Remember, survivors, together we are unbreakable. Together we can forge a future where our children, our memories, and our sacrifices are honored with the light of 1,000 dawns. As the orchestral swell fades into the gentle promise of the new day, hold fast to this vision. Our unity, our hope, and our determination will be the beacon that leads us from these ruins into a future reborn. I promise you this, we will rise from the ashes, rebuild our lives, and create a world where our collective strength and resilience shine brighter than the darkest night. This is your oath, your legacy, and the promise of tomorrow. Stay safe, remain united, and let our shared resolve be the foundation upon which a new world is built. Survivors, this is our promise to the future. Let the dawn be our guide and our unity the light that leads us home. Where are you hiding right now? Tell us in comments to help send rescue.